So you must be wondering what's going on with crypto right now. And the answer is pretty simple. It's being manipulated. And I know that sounds like a thing people throw around all the time. Oh, crypto has manipulated this. Crypto has manipulated that. But I gotta tell you, this whole movement with Bitcoin and I guess the entirety of the space here was not completely unexpected. And I believe in my video yesterday, I explained this phenomena of the SEC victory, or rather a grayscale victory over the SEC, a Ripple victory over the SEC, etc., is mostly followed up with bad news. What I mean with that is, oh wow, Grayscale won their lawsuit against the SEC. Oh wow, Uniswap got on top and Ethereum is named a commodity, etc., 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 which got the entire crypto market to pump a bit, right? We saw the numbers over on the right here. You can see just how exciting things were looking with a massive spike. But all of a sudden today, and also the most part yesterday, all of a sudden things were coming back down. It's because of two things. One, it's basically a bull trap. Every single time a lawsuit victory of the sort happens. Why? Well, we can only speculate that people are buying the rumor and selling the news. Now, before I move on, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button. As I've noticed, when prices come down, people also don't press that like button anymore. But if you're still consistently watching these videos, make sure you help out the channel. Having said that, as I said, either buying the rumors, selling the news, or, well, people just understood the negative connotation of what was coming next. Almost every single time there's a positive decision with regards to an SEC lawsuit, a negative decision comes out rather quickly. And what happened here was the positive news of Grayscale winning and of Uniswap came out, and about a day later, so that was yesterday, all of a sudden, the SEC delayed the decision in almost every single Bitcoin ETF. I posted it over on my Twitter, and right now, the entire space is looking at Gary Gensler for being basically a goofball. As again, this whole denying situation is not what we're talking about anymore. Nobody is talking about the SEC potentially denying a Bitcoin ETF. Every single analyst and all these guys are just talking about the crazy high chances of approval. The only thing we're wondering is exactly when it's going to happen. So that's quite positive, right? And like Miles here said, Gensler also won't call ETH a commodity. Why? We don't know. Because the US courts will. Judge Fala of the Southern District of New York directly labeled it as a commodity, refusing to stretch the federal security laws to cover the conduct alleged. Another big win for crypto. This was in the Uniswap lawsuit. As again, for the most part, we just know the SEC is an absolute joke, and they won't admit the simplest of things. The SEC is an absolute joke. They're trying to delay the Bitcoin ETFs even more, and they've done so. I believe 45 days it's been delayed for on almost every one of those decisions, but we all know it's coming. So why? Like, what's the point of delaying these things when it's inevitable? And I keep thinking about this, and I've shared my thoughts with you on multiple different occasions in the past, but please, in the comment section, tell me if you think something different, because I don't believe that anybody could disagree with me on this, but hear me out. BlackRock is desperately trying to get a Bitcoin ETF approved. Who disagrees? Nobody, because we all know it. How desperate are they? Well, debatably so, but we'll talk about that in a second. They know it's a hot commodity. Otherwise, they wouldn't be interested. They have had their sights on Bitcoin for way longer than you can imagine. Fidelity, which is massive, has $4.5 trillion assets under management, has been into crypto since 2014. BlackRock has owned MicroStrategy, which is huge in crypto, for over a decade. These guys have known about crypto for way longer than 99.9% of all of us have, or at least of you guys watching have. And these guys have a lot of money, a lot of influence, and they're not stupid. They've got best analysts in the world. So if they're interested, they most likely have thought out a plan to show this interest in a way that's going to negatively affect you. These guys don't want you to make money, they want to make money. So them stating some negative things in 2017, but some positive things in 2023, doesn't mean they changed their mind necessarily. It could just be part of the tactic. These guys probably have enough influence, as we can see from the picture right here, to get the ETF approved nearly instantly. They've probably got the best lawyers in the world. They probably got the power to get anything done because they're the biggest asset managers in the world. And at least from my perspective, if they say this Bitcoin ETF should be there. The moment that they filed it, basically the SEC lost. Because again, if they are saying it should be done, it's legal, yada, 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 the SEC isn't powerful enough, I'd say, to really stop them over a long period of time. They can delay it, but they won't be strong enough to stop BlackRock. From that perspective, I kept on thinking, so why every single time these guys show interest does the price go down? And I keep thinking, you know what? These guys know it's such a hot commodity. Maybe this whole Bitcoin ETF approval thing is all such a big game. We get the positive result in Grayscale, positive result for Ethereum and Uniswap. Next day, the SEC comes out with a delay. Prices, came back up from all that positive news. Bam, schlepp right back down. Exactly like I warned, mind you. I will not sell any of my Bitcoin to those institutions this cheap, though, because remember, why did BlackRock get into the, they basically applied for either a license or basically the possibility to let the institutions underneath them and that they're working with trade cryptocurrencies. Why would they do that? Because they know there's interest, a layer down. And if they know there's interest in that, well, wouldn't it be in everybody's best interest if they could get crypto down significantly for the short term so that these guys can get some good entries, or at least keep things vague while they work out their fundamental layers? I'd say yes. And so the more I start thinking about it, I'm thinking, you know what? These guys, as they're starting to adopt it, will obviously be accumulating a lot too. And since there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and for any crypto you could say this, XRP there's only 100 billion, other coins there's only X amount of coins. Well, it's best to pick up my coins and not let them go because these guys will be buying it anyway. But they'll probably be buying as well as we get to these higher prices. And I think the prices that we're at right now are just way too low for me to let any coins go. As again, these guys are gonna want a lot of them. But then again, there's one little fun phenomena I sometimes think about, and this is something I don't really say often, but just think about this for a second for fun, right? What if, hypothetically speaking, BlackRock owned all of the Bitcoin, except for, just a very, very small minority? How would the system then work? In theory, this whole decentralized system can't fully hold up if one party has nearly every single part of it, right? It's kind of funny, because who is there to transact and who is there to be in the system if they own it all? From a controlling perspective, BlackRock is already buying up all the mining equipment everywhere, basically. They're major shareholders in all the top crypto mining companies, in the US at least. I really wonder how big their control is going to be, but also sometimes what would happen if they were to completely take over? Would the system crumble if they took over everything? But the contrary opinion to that is they can never take over everything because people like me and you will not let our coins go for cheap or at all. And so they could basically never get hold of enough because the price would be too high. They've got $10 trillion assets under management. And as of this point, it's enough to buy the entire crypto space 10 times over. But soon enough, it won't be because the crypto space, in my opinion, will be hundreds of trillions of dollars. And we sometimes talk about how huge XRP could be if they go into the derivatives market. We're talking quadrillions of dollars in there, but that's a story for a different day. Just wanted to let you guys know why crypto prices were going down today. I believe for the most part, it's manipulated effort, like I already warned you guys about. Again, I'm not falling for their trap. I believe it's a trap. People have been stating that September usually is a pretty negative month for crypto, in the history almost never having a more than 10% positive result throughout the month, whereas October, I believe, is pretty bullish again, so I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. Even somebody's hosting a space right now that says, how bloody will September get for Bitcoin? I'm not really worried though, guys. I just keep holding through with all my cryptos in my bags, not letting anything go to these institutions because screw them. And yeah, that's about it for this little update.